I'm Lacey Bryant. I'm the Senior Advisor for Knowledge for Healthcare, which is our programme for health education in England across all NHS libraries in England. I joined CILIP at the start of my career while I was studying. That's more than 30 years ago now, so it's been with me throughout my career. So throughout my career, involvement with the CILIP has been a very helpful and powerful resource and an opportunity to network with colleagues both within the sector and Health Libraries Group. It's a very powerful, vibrant group. But equally, there's been a tremendous amount to be gained by interaction with colleagues. As we work in the health sector, we're in the process of modernising health libraries. We're modernising the image of health libraries as much as modernising the service itself. So we're working very hard on advocacy work across the health sector for services which have been seen very much as learning resources to really demonstrate that they are business critical. And on that journey, there's a whole set of ways in which working with the professional body in partnership, for example, a lot of material, a lot of work around workforce development. We've tailored the professional knowledge and skills base, skills, knowledge and skills framework to a health setting. So a lot of that kind of joint working on how should we make decisions campaign has been very powerful. So for health librarians coming into the sector, and into the professional body, they have the opportunity both to meet colleagues right across England, to share best practice, to learn from others, lots of peer exchange, but also to get involved in wider campaign work around the work that we're doing to really place our services at the centre of the organisation that we're serving NHS patients. So for members of HLG, I think I've already mentioned the professional knowledge and skills base, that's really important. We're doing joint work with CILIP, offering a joint leadership programme. That's incredibly important. There are 2 cohorts through now. It's been a really valuable way of sharing expertise around what is it that librarians from their training, that base of their skill set, what other skills are they particularly looking for, and what kind of mutual learning and support to sharpen their leadership skills and open up other opportunities whereby they can extend the impact of library services within the health sector, but also start to look at other areas they might want to be engaging with within the health services, spread their portfolio, whether that's across research or quality or other areas of work. Okay, so I've recently completed my fellowship application, successfully submitted that, delighted to have become a fellow of CILIP. Something I could have got down to earlier in my career, and I would advocate that to younger professionals. It's a real opportunity to reflect on what you've learned, on what you're contributing, and where you are going next. And I think in that sense it helps you understand the leadership journey that you're on, and to look at other skills that you might want to develop and how to approach those. So for me it was quite an affirmative process, but also one that was challenging to come and think about what else I need to do. And it helped me trigger, in my case, to do to enter into a development programme that was cross-sectoral and working with senior leaders across different sectors. And so that was one of the outputs of the reflection that I undertook. So I think it's at whatever point in your career you do it, the reflection is really useful and will feed into your own leadership journey. So I believe that in some ways the nature of librarianship in the healthcare sector at least is changing dramatically and is set to change further. We're working to a strategy within the NHS called Knowledge for Healthcare, and within that we're positioning services as business critical services, and to that end we need to bring the skills and expertise of librarians as close as possible to decision makers. That might be the decision maker at the board level, and it might be the decision maker at the level of the board. Now to do that, we also want to release our staff in services across the country from as much of the routine work as we can, as much as possible, whether that's through streamlining, through coordination, through greater collaboration, or through the application of new technologies, which is certainly coming on stream into our field. So in that sense, I think we'll be looking to see librarians being more and more involved, working aligned with decision makers, whether that's at the board level, supporting executive decision making, or at the level of the ward where we're making patient decisions, and indeed out into primary care and outside the locus or hospital setting, which has traditionally been associated with libraries. So on one hand it's changing significantly, and yet on the other this is not so very far from the information brokerage role I took when I first joined the health service in the early 80s, working in both an information and a health education role. The application of new technologies makes an enormous difference. The use of AI to support systematic review work, for example. We're at the cusp of something very, very significant now, and there will be changes ahead for which we need to prepare ourselves and those whom we serve. So key to being part of a professional body is understanding the impact of changes across the profession and being able to learn. We're a small, specialised profession. That's one of the joys of working within it, and we are therefore able to take lessons from, for example, the defence sector, into the health sector, into the public library sector. Everyone is going to be affected by digital transformation over the next 5, 10, 20 years. It's here, it's with us now, and it's going to accelerate. That's the nature of the beast. So we are, in fact, often being seen as cutting edge within our organisations, around able to apply ourselves to the tech and the kit and apply and make use of it. Being part of the professional body will allow us to take a cross-sectoral wide view of those changes and think how best to prepare the workforce, current workforce, our workforce today, for the changes that are coming, and how also we want to engage with educators around educating the workforce of tomorrow.